Okay, here we go. We're going to learn how to divide polynomials. They usually write it like this, but it's possible they could write it like a fraction. Okay, I will start with, it won't matter. I'm going to use x instead of k. Okay, and I would suggest to everyone, just because I'm used to x. So really, I'm just going to say this is x cubed plus 17x squared plus 75x plus 24, all of it divided by x plus 8. I didn't change the equation. I just prefer using the letter x. The first step when you are doing division is you need to make sure that the polynomial is written in standard form. Remember, standard form is highest exponent first. Biggest number here, x to the biggest number, and then x to the next biggest. Okay, and that's definitely not a math terminology. And then x to the next biggest. So it's high to low. Now the other, okay, so we've got 3 to the third power to the second power. That's what I mean by this standard form. 3, 2, 1, and then there's none here. Okay, so this is already in standard form. Okay, just like when I was showing very quickly in the sidebar, when I had the 1, 2, 5, 6 is being divided by 3, and I say, what comes out front? The 3 came out front. So on this one, somebody tell me, what do you think comes out front here?
The 8.
Give me a little bit more.
X plus 8.
Thank you. I know it's weird. You've never done this, and it's not hard. You've just never done it. Okay, and this comes underneath. X cubed plus 17x squared plus 75x plus 24. Okay, so step 1 is we need to make sure it's in standard form. The polynomial. Okay, now, when we were doing our sidebar, and I'm going to do it probably side by side. I don't know what I did with it. Oh, it's right here. When we were doing 1, 2, 3, 6 divided by, let me zoom out. I know you can't see them both. Okay, I started and said, does 3 go into 1? No, I needed to go to the 12. But here, all we have to look at, when you start to do polynomial division, I just need you to look at this term here. Because I'm going to multiply this by whatever, like here, this 3 multiplied that 4. That's how I got this 12. This is going to multiply whatever comes up here. And what I'd like it to do is I need it to be exactly x to the third power. So what do I need? X is going to multiply something, and I want it to be x to the third power. Somebody tell me, what do you think this question mark might be then?
Would it be x to the second power?
It would be. Okay, so I know this is going to be x to the second power. Okay, because x times x squared is x cubed. I'm trying to figure out what do I multiply x by to get that first term. Now, here's what I have to write though. I'm actually taking x times x plus 8. I have to take the whole divisor, multiply it by this x squared. So when I do this, I get x cubed plus 8x squared. Okay, I'm going to stop a second. Ask questions if you have any. When I actually use the x to find out what I need to multiply by to force it to be this term, I have to then take these two terms and multiply it times that x squared. Just like here, we're doing 3 times 4. That's why I wrote that 3 times 4 here. I'm doing the 3 times the 4 right here. This is what I get, and so this is what I write up here. X cubed plus 8x squared. Okay, what else did I do over here that you usually don't write when you're doing division? What do you think? Take a wild guess. Okay, do you see this? Normally when you're doing division, you guys don't write that there. You just know that it's a subtraction, right? It's implied that we're subtracting here. So what I tell you to do is we're going to come out here, and I'm going to do it in a different color. I'll do it in orange. I'm going to put the minus sign right here. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to say, hey, I'm subtracting here. So really, when we were adding and subtracting yesterday and there was a minus sign out front, it says, give me the opposite of this. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of distribute out this negative It's going to make that negative, and it's going to change this to a negative. And then I'm going to say, okay, I've dealt with that now. Now all I have to do is either combine like terms. If it's the same sign, we add. If it's different sign, we subtract. Okay, so that negative went through and made that negative and that negative. Now, x3 minus x3, it disappears. If this first term doesn't disappear, you've completely done something wrong. The whole idea is to get rid of that very first term so we can, get down to nothing. All right, here we go. 17x squared minus 8x squared. What is it? What's 17x squared minus 8x squared? Oh, I got it. Who's got it? Oh, thank you, Michelle. 9x squared. Okay, now, after we did this one over here, I'm just going side by side. Let me do this so we can get a little better. I think this is going to be awesome. Okay, 3 times 4 was 12, minus 12. These canceled. What did I do? I had to drop down the next term. That's what we're going to do here. Here's my next term. It needs to drop down, so write plus 75x. Then we go through the same steps. What do I need to multiply 3 by to force it to be exactly that number? So I have x. I need to multiply it by something to make it equal 9x squared. What needs to be here in the triangle? Take a guess.
9x.
Thank you. And say it like you mean it. Go on. Thank you, Audrey. 9x. I agree. If it's wrong, I'll tell you you're wrong. Yes. So now I go over here and I say, I know I got to take this whole thing, x plus 8 has to multiply that 9x. Okay, so I'm going to get 9x squared plus 72x. I write that here. These should always match. If these don't match, you've done something wrong. Okay, then I'm going to write out front. Remember, because when you subtract normally with numbers, you never write that minus sign. But I want you to know it's there and we need to deal with it. So it says, give me the opposite of this. I'll do opposite there. I'll cross this out and make this negative. Okay, now we're going to combine. These go away. 75 and a negative 72 is 3x. Then we drop down the last term, plus 24. I need to take x. I'm going to multiply it times something. I don't know what. And it's not necessarily a plus. It could be a negative. Okay, so what do I need to multiply x times to get a 3x there? Somebody say it loud and proud.
Is it 3?
Thank you. Thank you. It's a positive 3. Okay, so down here, I need to write x plus 8, because remember, this whole thing has to multiply that number now. So I get 3x plus 24. Oh my goodness, Miss Sweat, no way. Okay, remember, we're subtracting here. So the opposite of positive 3x is negative. The opposite positive is negative here. So I've dealt with that negativity. When I combine these, I get nothing. So my answer is, when I want to say what is x cubed plus 17x squared plus 75x plus 24 divided by x plus 8, the answer is x squared plus 9x plus 3. This is my answer. Now I want to show you how you would check to see if you're right. Okay, well, I'm going to take x plus 8 and multiply it times x squared plus 9x plus 3 to see if I get this part right here, this first part. So when we multiply, remember, we distribute 2 terms here times 3 terms. I'm going to have 6 terms interim. X times x squared, x cubed. X times 9x is 9x squared. X times 3 is 3x. Then I come here and I do my rainbow underneath so I don't get confused. 8 times x squared, this is what makes me incredibly good at math. 8 times 9x is 72x, and then 8 times 3 is 24. Remember, you can combine like terms. X squares, and I know I call them weird names because that's what I do. 9 and 8 is 17, x squared. Okay, I'm done with those. Now I need just x. I got 3x and 72x, that's 75x. And then I had the 24. Do you see how this turns out to be the original problem? So I know I have the right answer, but this is the only answer I'm looking for. Ooh. Okay. Oh, stop sharing.